Dad's Green Show. Dad's Green Show. Dad's Green Show.
Hey, everybody. I stopped that a little bit early.
Were you premature on stopping the opening?
Premature. So, hey, it's your favorite dads. Hopefully not, unless our kids are watching. Hopefully.
Right.
Hopefully not.
If so, you should not take our advice. The advice from these dads may not be as good.
Yeah, I need to be a better parent if my children are watching this.
Look, every couple
probably
times.
More.
Look, Jeff, every couple times on a Thursday night, I'll have it streaming as the kid falls asleep, and he's in love with all things YouTube. And he's like, "Oh, you're on YouTube?" And I'm like, "Yeah, but you can't watch that." He's like,
"We'll do a family-friendly episode."
Right? Yeah. Yeah. Sure.
One of these days. You know what? We'll do a G-rated. That's actually a great idea. We'll do a G-rated show.
Oh, maybe we bring the kids on. I mean, let's.
Nah.
Okay, we'll just go G-rated.
Channel.
Yeah. Okay, good call.
All right, so we're here, and one of us has a post-coital glow about him. One of us has a fresh haircut, and one of us ain't afraid of no ghosts. I'm not saying who any of those people are.
No idea. Jeff, I had no idea you weren't afraid of ghosts.
You know what? Two of us are not afraid of no
right.
ghosts. I'm not afraid of ghosts. I don't even know if I believe in ghosts. That's another topic
episode.
For another day.
Yeah.
Hey, so we have to, one thing. Sorry, there's a fly buzzing around me that's driving me insane. So I'm not a crazy person.
He's twitching.
Another thing that drives me insane about our show is that, this episode, I think, will come out a week after the episode that we just saw, which we recorded, I don't know, a month ago, maybe 2 months ago. Who the hell knows? These episodes are out of order, so we're resetting. By the way, Jeremiah's beard and hair are going to grow in the future episodes really fast.
Magically. Right.
But anyways, we're going to go back to the old faithful here and do a watch along at Keys to the VIP. Damn it.
There's nothing more fun, as I explained to a friend, than making fun of Canadians trying to pick up women. It's the nicest clientele ever, and they still fail, and it's amazing. I've always wanted to visit Canada, and this has just cemented that for me.
Yes, and for the multiple people who reached out, yes, we will have Dana back on. Dana Pereira,
yes.
who was on a recent episode. Even our Keys to the VIPs episode launch are out of order because she was on she recorded the last Keys to the VIP that we did.
Yeah.
And that drunken one was just a fun find.
That was so much fun. It's great to have a woman's perspective in this and to let us know that we're not crazy.
Well, I wouldn't go that far to say we're not crazy. But all right. Hey, let's jump in to our favorite club. It's oh, God damn it. Why can't I figure out how to do full screen on this?
It's our Keys to the VIP.
It's better.
I can't believe we haven't talked about how cheesy this opening is.
It's you know what? It is a
we have our four masters.
Oh my God.
We are down volume.
These are not great looking fellas, are they?
No.
That's this is either going to be a creepy skill fest or something else.
Yeah. Look, I've seen creepier dudes,
prize in Florida, baby. Go ahead. Sorry.
Oh, bringing them to Florida, Jeff. They're bringing them to your house. You partied with these guys at one point. You didn't even know.
I mean, I think this is season 3, as you can see right here.
Yeah.
I'm gonna give this guy a subscription since it's on the screen. Oh, I don't want to miss talking about the guys. Yeah, these guys are not great. Not great looking. Not I know. By the way, last episode I was a little bit too in love in the beginning with Eric.
Yeah, something about the Viking just got to you. I understand.
I was struck, but I quickly hated him when I saw him in action.
I still think you're batting like 1,000 or a good 750, man. I mean, you're spot on with these guys. I do remember digging through the research of this one now, and this has been one of the there's some disillusion. That's all we'll say, right? Someone here is disillusioned.
I'm looking at this, by the way, just from a bird's eye view. Is this you 25 years ago versus me 15 years ago?
It could be. Do you know karate?
I mean, I am a white belt. I went to like 5 classes when I was 5 or something like that.
Yeah, my son has a tiger belt. I think it's one step.
A tiger belt?
I don't even know. They just make them up with their kids.
Now they're just making shit up.
They are. They just put like an orange stripe on it, and they're like, a white belt with an orange stripe? You're a tiger. Here, mom and dad, pay more money for a belt.
Yeah. No. I remember kids had to like learn these things. Like it was basically like a dance, in my opinion.
A little bit.
To get elevated to the next level. And I'm like, yeah, I don't like this anymore. This seems really stupid.
I expected more when they said my son was like having his, white belt ceremony. I'm like, all right, so I'm going to see some karate. And then he did what they told him to do. And I was like, well, I don't know what I expected for a 5-year-old, but I'm just saying I was underwhelmed. I'm just, like, huh? Like, I could have taught him that.
He did the electric slide and he got his tiger belt.
Oh, that worked. Thought we were kicking boards and stuff. Like, where's the combat?
Oh no, that's like orange belt or something. All right. Well, I'm not going to be able to see your face because I'm going to maximize this for the audience's pleasure. So
I've got no volume so far, so I'm hoping it's going to come through.
Oh, you've got no volume?
No volume. I've heard nothing from Keys.
You can't hear this?
Mm-mm.
Oh, this is a great sign. What are we doing?
What could possibly? Yeah, no. This is the one we're not going to edit.
Yeah, right. I'm like, hey, we're not going to edit this episode. We got to do this right. And
what's going on with StreamYard, bro? Does it require a hard reset of StreamYard at this point?
I don't know. It's probably Isaac's fault.
I blame the young goat for most things that go wrong on here.
Yeah. Well. So this will either be a 15-minute episode that we just failed to launch.
Hey, we can name it "Failed to Launch." It works.
Yeah.
If you can hear it, Jeff, on my end, I can just provide what I remember as the verbiage from this guy.
Yeah, well, it's not going full screen like normal either, which is a little bit weird. Again, maybe Isaac went in and messed with some of the settings here.
It is Young Goat's fault.
It could be. It very well could be. Yeah. I don't know why we're making fun of Isaac.
Yeah, I know. Either. We're out of material. Just go to Isaac.
Yeah, Isaac. God damn it!
Damn you, Edelman. As a Dolphins fan, I've said that a lot, though. Every time we face Brady and the Pats, damn you, Edelman.
Well, yeah. Good point. I'm like, why were you screaming, damn you, Edelman? That makes sense. All right, well, let's see here. Let's see if we can get it to work. Actually, I'm going to remove this.
Let's see if we can McConaughey and we can actually launch.
Yeah. Like the movie where Terry Bradshaw showed his ass.
I refused to watch that movie. I thought I'd seen it when it was called Fool's Gold.
I think
I feel like
watched
McConaughey made like 4 movies in a row that were pretty much the same. Like,
that's pretty much what those guys do.
yeah, I mean, hey, I don't blame him. Take the money, dude.
I would love to.
Right. I'd do those in a minute. Hey, what was the dude from American Pie that was trying to sing and was apparently the athlete guy? That dude, I'll be him. He did nothing after American Pie 1, 2, 3 wedding anniversary.
Yeah,
I'll be that dude.
He really never did do anything else.
No.
Well, I'm guessing you still can't hear this, can you?
Nope. I got nada. I know what he's saying. He's like, I'm a playboy. I'm like Donald Trump, or I'm sorry, Hugh Hefner.
I'm the hef.
That looks like the hef, but it looks like that's like a regular ass bathrobe that you get at a Hilton, and it's way too short. And young guys smoking cigars, just don't. It's an old guy's game. Smoking cigars is an older dude's game. You can't be 20 smoking a cigar and look cool. It just doesn't happen.
Yeah, no, I agree with that.
Yeah,
Plus, if you've got hair like mine, the smoke just kind of lives in there, and it never escapes.
Look, pulling back the curtain, I'm a smoker in real life. So anytime I have like a cigar, like, why am I smoking something I'm not going to inhale? Like, that doesn't feed my nicotine at all. So I can't smoke cigars because they murder my lungs.
Yeah, no, I see. I don't mind smoking cigars except for the living smell.
Yeah,
but I don't inhale cigarettes either. But that also caused me a problem when I was trying to start smoking weed at age 27.
I don't
know how to inhale it. Like, I'm like, wait, I don't get high by just breathing it into my mouth. And
my mom smoked for over 40 years and she never inhaled. I just, as a smoker, I'm like, what? Why? What do you even? Huh?
Like, it's like drinking non-alcoholic,
right? Like, why are you spending money on cigarettes for? I do it because I'm addicted.
I do it for a good old-fashioned reason.
Right. I have to have it.
Yeah.
Nobody likes the taste. Get out of here.
I would rather die young than not smoke.
I blame it all on where I grew up, Jeff. It's all North Carolina. That was my old saying. I'm like, you go from the nipple to the bottle to the Mountain Dew to the Marlboro. That's just what you do, son. You graduate.
So hey, I at this point I don't even know what to do.
You know what? We're 13 minutes into this train wreck. We can either just ride this thing and freestyle it, or
you're not going to be able to hear anything.
I can't hear anything. So, how was your week, Jeff?
It's pretty uneventful. Actually, I'm very excited. I've got so many good leftovers in my fridge because I went on a big cooking festival for my kids for 5 days.
Oh, nice.
So I'm sitting downstairs. Oh yeah, I also started eating a ton of fruit last week.
What?
I don't know if I told you this.
Are you trying to get healthy?
Well, I don't know why I was eating, but it like gives you a nice sugar rush, and you're like, "Oh, I feel alive."
So does Red Bull.
I've had a like 6 centimeters too large spleen for like 6 years. And anytime I eat anything, my stomach, your stomach grows and it pushes the spleen into the ribs. And it's just like, just like being stabbed. And that's basically been the last 6 years of my life. But last week, I'm not saying this is dietary advice, but I was eating like a pound of fruit a day. Actually, probably more like 2 pounds of fruit a day, mostly blueberries and melons and stuff.
Okay.
It's gone.
Wow.
Which also now is like, I can overeat. I'm like, no, I need to not do that. Trying to lose weight.
What did we learn here? Healthy food takes away the stabbing pain. No, I can eat more. What did we learn?
Well, I've never been to. I mean, it has literally been probably 5-6 years since I have not had just a stabbing pain.
Oh wow!
Almost 24 hours a day.
Wow.
And I was just like, why am I so happy? And I'm like, you know what? It's because my rib, I could literally feel it in my rib cage too. Like it was pressing. Like I thought I had cancer for a while.
Oh Jesus! So that pain went away.
Yeah, and I was looking it up, and it's like walking around with broken ribs. Like that's been my life for like 6 years.
That explains so much.
Right. I wonder why I drink.
Look, okay, so you were talking about the great leftovers, so I'll share with you. It's turning into our cooking episode. I am a fast food. I have my kid. I am the dad that will give him what he wants. You know, when I pick him up, I'm not like, hey, here's what we're having for dinner. 9 times out of 10, I'm like, what do you want for dinner? He's like, McDonald's. And I give in half the time. I'm like, chicken nuggets it is. But so I decided, thanks to a young girl that I've been seeing, that I should actually put my kitchen together like a grown-ass man and have utensils and pots and pans, because we decided to do one of those date nights and cook one night. And we were starting to cook, and she's like, grab me this. And I'm like, I don't have that. She's like, what do you mean you don't have that? I'm like, I don't have it. She's like, you don't have measuring cups? Like, no, what am I measuring? Why do I have measuring cups? So I went on a spending spree. I stocked up the kitchen. And so the only reasonable thing to do for me was to subscribe to one of those meal services. So I've been getting every plate delivered for the past like 2 weeks. So in true Jeremiah fashion, the first week the app went down, so I had no way to control what I was getting, and they just sent me a whole bunch of mushroom shit. Like it was mushroom risotto, it was mushroom this. I'm like, why do I have so many mushrooms? I was literally giving mushrooms away to people. I'm like, this is awful. Week 2, we went bacon heavy. It was bacon and Gouda sandwiches. But here's the deal. I actually cooked all 3 meals from my every plate last week. And I was very proud of that. Now,
that's good.
If you're a beginner to every plate or any of those meal services, such as I am, ignore what they tell you on the sheet when it says like 15 minutes prep, 30 minutes cook time. Just triple that out of the gate. Like it just like 15 minutes prep. Like if you're not used to chopping shallots, okay, you may not do it as quickly as every plate thinks you will. Just as a word to the wise.
Well, knife skills definitely are learned.
Yes.
See, I'm faster than because I do everything that's like low heat. I'm like, no, I'm gonna do it high heat. I'm fast, and that's my only flaw is I'm a little impatient. I'm like, now it works great when you're cooking burgers or steak because it's like I want 1,000 degree. I just want to sear each thing, each side, and that's
we're done.
Yeah, just sear it, and it's great with beef. Not great with a lot of things because I'm just like I want high heat. I want fast. I want you have to be very attentive when you cook with that. The other thing. Other than kitchen equipment, Jeremiah, I hope you have a plethora of spices.
Oh, well, no. When you order every plate or any of those other cooking services, Jeff, they send you the proper amount of spice.
I don't trust them.
Spice you will need to cook that dish. They
underspice it, I guarantee it.
I'm sure they do. But, I'm playing with oregano. I ain't never played with oregano, so I'm going to trust what every place says.
I only spoke weed and told my parents.
Right, that's the only shit I had. Look, I will tell you that, too. Like, there should be a meal plan kit for, like, beginners, though. They're really, because I was so happy with myself following every recipe to the core. And then there was, like, this feta stuffed salmon, and there was a lemon in the box. And I'm like, well, how's the lemon work into this dish? And then I'm reading I'm reading the directions. They're like, zest the lemon. I don't have a lemon zester. And they're like, use
cheese
the
grater.
lemon zest. I'm like, I don't have a cheese grater. I'm like, you're above my. So we didn't have lemon dressing vinaigrette. The lemon just went in the trash. so I almost finished every one without the lemon zest.
Yeah, lemon zest.
How much zest the lemon?
The lemon juice I find in addition to dishes. Lemon zest, I'm always like, I don't really.
So
it's kind of like the parsley you put on top of the dish to make it look pretty and add color. I'm like, it doesn't add anything except for like if you're taking a picture.
Jeff, that could be our $1 million idea. If we could put together these meal kits for serious beginning cookers, like we'll just send them like a grilled cheese.
All right, Jeremiah, I will here, 1 pot taco spaghetti.
Right?
You like tacos? Do you like spaghetti? This is a weekly dish my kids insist on. So I'm going to walk you through this.
Okay.
It's very easy. This is very easy. Take notes.
I have notes.
You get your ground beef.
Uh-huh.
Now put it in a big pot, the biggest pot you can get.
I don't have very big pots, Jeff. That's why I just had to go buy some pans and stuff.
I got my sister bought me
a crock pot.
A crock pot's great, but not for this recipe.
All right.
Crock pot's great for chili, for sauce, for some other things.
Yeah.
Pulled pork.
Oh, that's
tremendous. Great. Yeah.
So ground beef in a big pot. Got them.
Ground beef. Oh no, I'm sorry. I already messed up. First,
you're fired from every plate.
Dice up onions and put some olive oil in the bottom of the pot. Throw the onions in. I'm a big onion guy, so that
I didn't think I was, but the more I've been actually cooking, if you do them properly, it's really good.
Onions are the best. So any kind of onion, I always use red onion. That's my favorite. I feel like it's the most oniony of the onions. So dice it, not a whole onion, like a quarter of an onion, maybe a third of an onion. Dice it up, get it hot, put olive oil in the bottom. Any kind of oil works really, but I like olive oil. I'm Italian. Throw the onions in there. When you start hearing them really sizzle, you take your beef, you put it in, and break it up. You know how to make tacos, right?
Yeah, I got that.
You break it up like that. When it's cooked, you add taco seasoning. You can just use a packet of taco seasoning. Just dump it in, mix it up. Then you get a can of Rotel, which is like diced tomatoes with green chilies. Open the can, dump it in. This is a very easy recipe. There's not a lot of chefing involved.
I'm liking this, right?
Now, then you get a can of, I get poblano roasted corn with some peppers. Drain the can so there's no water. Drain it. Add half that can. My kids don't love corn, so add half that can. Mix it all up. Then chicken stock, which I didn't start cooking with until recently. Chicken stock, it's like 1.5. I don't know how many this is, but 1.5 of those little boxes.
Yep.
Dump it in. Then you take your spaghetti, put it in. You do not break spaghetti ever. You boil the spaghetti in the chicken broth with all of the other stuff. Now, I always add a healthy amount of chili powder, garlic powder, a little bit of white pepper and salt on top of the taco seasoning. I'm a big, I'm Italian. We season everything.
Right.
So especially the garlic powder and the chili powder I found are very important to help really flavor it. Leave it in that pot, let it boil. Cook that spaghetti until it's, al dente. Kind of keep checking on it, mix it up. Now, my son's allergic to dairy, so I plate and then add the cheese.
Okay.
Because my son has different cheese than my daughter and I. But I think it will be way better if when the spaghetti's cooked, throw the cheese on the top, put the lid on that pot, and let it just melt into it that way.
Yep.
I think it'd be that much better. It is out of bounds. Like it's really good. And a pretty simple, I know there was a lot of things I just yelled at
but
you.
It's all simple.
But it's all simple. There's no real chefing skills involved aside from monitoring patience and
those skills I have. The skills I don't have is like minced garlic. Like, if you've never cut garlic before, it is not an easy thing to do.
No.
It's flying everywhere. There's shell. Is it peeled? Is it not peeled? Who knows? Like, it's it can be a mess. So what I have to do is convince my 7-year-old Jeff, like, anything he tastes that has any kind of like condiment or anything on it, his go-to is, this is spicy. I'm like, dude, it's ketchup. It's spicy. I'm like, ketchup is not spicy. Like, you're using the wrong word to describe the taste that you're having. So I can't put the chili powder in.
My son used to sniff food and be like, oh, it's too hot. And I'm like, your nose doesn't sense temperature, you idiot.
Oh, dude. Look, since we're just freestyling this, can I tell you a very proud moment that I had this weekend? I finally had to teach the 7-year-old a lesson. All he talks about is Prime. All he talks about. Prime. Do you know they have a Prime drink? And at first I thought Prime was just an energy drink. So I'm like,
I don't even know. Amazon Prime or something?
No,
else?
dude, it's this drink that Logan Paul has created and pushed. And every kid who's anywhere near YouTube, there were people when they put out a lemonade flavor of Prime that it was being sold online for like $5,000 a bottle. It's a ridiculous. Logan Paul's cool. He did this drink. We must have this drink. And so my son would just talk about this all the time. And then finally on Saturday, we happened to be in a store and there was a bottle of Prime and it was like orange. And I'm like, I'm buying this. And then I brought him home and literally had to make the video. I threw it up on TikTok where I'm like, we're going to do a taste test with a 7-year-old. But before we do the taste test, I'm like, Jackson, do you like Prime? He's like, oh yeah, I love Prime. I'm like, do you think Prime's good? Oh, it's the best. I'm like, have you ever tried Prime? No, never tried Prime. I'm like, okay, so why is it the best? Logan Paul says it's good. I'm like, are we seeing the problem with Prime? And he takes the first sip and he's like, oh, it's really good. And I'm like, no. I take a sip and it was awful. It was like Kool-Aid with like vitamin aftertaste. And I'm like, you're such a liar, kid. He's like, I'll do another taste test and then we'll see it. He takes a sip and he makes a horrible face. And I'm like, oh no, that looks like you absolutely like it. And that was the end of the video. So I go in to cook in the kitchen. Like 5 minutes later, he comes in. He's like, I'm not going to drink this Prime. I don't feel good. I was like, hold up. Wait a second. Video number 2. Like, but it's scary, bro, as dads, if we're going into just freestyling on this. I had this conversation tonight that kids at my son's age, 7, and your kids are a little bit older than this, the influence of what they're being told is just believed. It's just randomly believed. My son, for 2 months, had told me how great Prime was, and it was the greatest drink ever, and he had to have Prime, and why can't he have Prime? And he'd never tasted anything to do with Prime, but the videos told him it was great, so it had to be great.
That, you know what that reminds my son. I've already said he's got a dairy allergy, but when he was younger, we went to the allergist, and he has a serious dairy allergy, but and also shellfish now, but he's always hated shellfish, so he's not upset about that. But back in the day, he was allergic to peanuts.
Oh, wow.
Now he's not.
Good.
He loves peanut butter, even though he doesn't like peanuts. He loves peanut butter. Chocolate, vanilla, carrots, and so now usually milk chocolate is a thing, right?
Yeah.
But chocolate and dairy are very separate. They're usually just mixed.
Right.
So he got allergy tested at like 3 and we found out all these allergies. Then at like 5, he got tested again. And they're like, you're not allergic to chocolate or garlic or vanilla or this. He's like, I can try a real Oreo. And he was so excited. He's like, everyone loves chocolate. My mom made brownies. No dairy in them. And the brownies tasted just like brownies. My son eats. He's like, I don't like this at all. This is horrible. But he hates the taste of chocolate. But he had built it up so much because everyone talks so much about it. And now he was very honest. He's like, this is disgusting. I hate this. And he will not dairy-free stuff that has chocolate in it.
Yeah.
Like I got him ice cream sandwiches.
Mm-hmm.
He literally peeled the chocolate parts off and just ate the ice cream. And I'm like, okay, well, I mean, you're being real, keeping it real, I guess.
So Jeff, you've known me long enough to know that like little things like that put me into a crazy different spot. Just I go philosophical in this because when stuff like that happens, it really starts making me like, as a father, too many times when I have things to do, I will put an iPad in front of my kid. And he will watch videos and it'll be on YouTube Kids or whatever. He'll watch shorts or whatever it is. And I don't think about it. And I just kind of move along, right? But then it reminds me that my son's obsession with Prime, that my son is also at the same age where he still thinks the Easter Bunny's real, and so is Santa Claus. So, like, whatever is entering his head, it sticks. Like, right now, whatever we tell our kids, like, that is their reality. And so it kind of brought me back to a sense of like, I need to monitor more what is really going into my kid's head. And it's not even that it's bad content. There's like some YouTube video that you watch. There's just these two kids playing Roblox and yelling, but they're pushing merch nonstop. They're like, go buy the new stuffy, go get the new blah, blah, blah. Go get it. He's like, Dad, I heard they have a stuffy. And I'm like, no, not buying it. But it's so, everything is so marketing generated now. And I guess it was when I was a kid too. Saturday morning cartoons had tons of advertisements, but now it's nonstop. Like the marketing that is driven toward kids is pretty amazing.
Well, nowadays, the marketing is more hidden into the video, into the content.
Yes.
It's like it's baked into the cake, and I'm guilty of this as a podcaster myself.
Sure.
Now, granted, look, I don't advertise for things that I don't trust, use, or get free.
I love the last qualifier.
Well, yeah. Well, but it's like, well, okay, yeah. Of course, I'll do an ad for BetterHelp.
Yeah, I mean, that makes sense.
/ Macolino saves you 10%, but don't say that you got it from this video. But you try to bake it in and make it natural. That's. But back when we were kids watching those Saturday morning cartoons, there was a commercial break,
right?
And it's like, all right, I'm tuned out to this.
Yeah.
So by the way, since we're just talking about parenting, you want to know a fun thing that happened?
Yes.
This weekend?
Yes.
I'm 99% confident none of my daughter's friends will watch this video. So I'll tell you this story.
Share it. Go ahead.
Saturday or Sunday, I don't remember which day. Probably Sunday. My daughter comes downstairs and she like frantically walks over to me. I'm sitting on the couch already because I usually wake up well before my kids. And she walks over to me and whispers, I think I got my period.
Oh no.
And I'm like, you think?
No.
She's like,
it's my nightmare.
Well, there's blood in my underwear. I'm like, well, God damn, I hope it's
well, I hope it is, because if not, I'm gonna spend all day in the hospital.
Real problems.
Fuck.
Yeah. So she's like, I'm like, do you have the stuff? And it's her first one, obviously.
Right.
And she's like, yeah. I'm like, all right, well, go do it. Like, do you need my help? She's like, no. I just wanted to let you know. And I'm like, okay. Anything you got blood on, like, put it in the sink so it can be rinsed out. And I'm like, and you can rinse it out because I don't really want to.
Dad,
and I'm like, and when you go upstairs, call your mother.
Yeah. Hey, kudos to your co-parent to have her that prepared. I'm just saying.
No,
My fear
it was
would
my
be,
mom more.
Okay, even your mom. Hey, kudos to having that much preparation and ready. Like that. That is 99% of the reason why I didn't want a girl. Because I knew I wouldn't handle that situation well, dude.
Well,
I just like what? How?
I'm just. I made an awful joke.
That's what I would do.
Several awful jokes. But I was like, I mean, she handled it well. I'm like, there's no catastrophe here. This is a pretty, we got it under control. There's a little blood on something. The next day, she came downstairs and she's like, I got some blood on the bathroom mat before. I'm like, just pick it up, throw it in the washing machine. Just that's fine. That can be
flip
washed.
it over. Just flip it over.
And I'm like, by the way, I really don't give a shit if there's blood stain on the bathroom mat. It's not my bathroom. You and your brother can fight over the blood stain. But at one point, I think the one joke she didn't find funny, I was like, she was saying something. I think she called my son a psychopath. And he's like, you're a psychopath. You probably murder people. She's like, no, I don't. And I'm like, well, then what's with all the blood you've been cleaning? She did not like that joke.
I thought it was well timed.
It was a great joke. She did not take kindly to it.
I like the first one that was kind of hidden in there. Like, you think? I hope, right? If not, this is gonna be a whole ordeal. We're gonna be in the hospital all day.
Yeah. Please tell me it's your period, because otherwise, I would hate to take you to the ER. Right. Be like, she's got blood coming out of that.
Yeah, there's something in there.
I don't know anything about it.
In today's society,
I don't even want to talk about it.
In today's society, you're getting pulled into an interview room right away when you go to the ER for that. They're like, Mr. Macolino, we need to talk.
Right. I'm like, it better fucking be your period.
Look, that will be the last time that you say that as a father. You better fucking have your period. Dude.
Don't get me started, dude.
Hey, I'm glad I got one and done with a son, my friend. Like, I'll take that. Like,
I am glad I got one of each.
Yeah.
It was a good, it was great. Boy, the second one being a son was like, boy, it better be.
Right.
I don't want to do this again with this bitch. Sorry, I don't.
I mean, in the best possible way.
Yeah. Diving into the dad's thing. My first kid. I think I've told you. I was in my last semester of college, and she was like a sophomore. Yeah. Believe it or not planned.
What?
But then we had the kid. A year and a half later, we got married. And then we wanted to have another kid, and she apparently was like 1,000,001 shot to get laid. To get pregnant.
Yes.
And I just had the special, swimmer apparently. But she had to go the second time. I had to go to a jerk off room to test my sperm.
Oh wow. That's a whole other episode. Wait, but this was before videos too, right? I mean, not
no,
on your phone
videos.
I'm not but VHS. You still have VHS, or were you on DVD?
No, it was a DVD. Yeah, there was a DVD.
Dude, don't look at me with like,
no, it's a DVD. Long ago.
Dude, my first porn was on VHS. Okay, I'm just saying.
No. They had DVDs and magazines, but you couldn't. At least on my phone, I didn't have a smartphone, so you couldn't look at porn. Yeah,
so you were stuck at the discretion of what the doctor thought.
Their porn was so bad. It was like a 200-pound woman playing with her tits, and I'm like, how am I supposed to? What? I'm like, I'm better off closing my eyes than imagining something. Like, we're going back to grade school here.
Oh Jesus, yes.
That's anyways, so it was her physical, not her fault, obviously.
You're
so
right.
She had to go on hormones and everything, and she would admit it to this day. those hormones made her a complete bitch. And one of the side effects of that was she did not want to touch me, let alone have sex with me. But she was only that way because she was on drugs to get pregnant. And I'm like, if you don't, like, can we just hate fuck or something? Like,
right, something in this joint.
Like I don't like what you've become.
Right.
And the easiest way would be to let me become inside of you a bunch.
Right.
But it was like literally once a month. I'm like, we're not going to get pregnant.
At this pace, it's going to be 10 years. At this pace, our daughter's going to be graduating. Like,
luckily, daughter's birthday party, her dad came down, stayed at the house, watched our daughter. We went out, got drunk, and that was the night.
That's the key.
I'm like,
alcohol. Responsible for families since 1954.
Two for two in my case. But anyways, when she was, we went in for the ultrasound to find out, whether it was a boy or a girl. Well, find out whether it was healthy and all that. But
boy.
And I'm just like, this better fucking be a boy because I'm not going through this again.
Doing this again. Look, what's funny is my ex and I waited till late in life, right? Like I was like 38 when we had our son, and so we weren't planning on multiple kids, but we also weren't planning on getting divorced and a whole lot of other stuff. So now my son's like 7, and he keeps saying things like, "I want a brother, I want a sister." Look,
you're shit out of luck, son.
I know. Look. We've seen the appearance on a couple of the videos here of the dog that I have in my house because my son wanted the dog. So that's my negotiating chip with the ex. I'm like, well, that's on you because I got the dog. Like it's up to you to have the kid. I'm not giving him a brother or sister. Like that's your role.
Yeah,
dude, at 45, there is zero chance in this world, Jeff, that I ever want to change another diaper in my life. If I do, it's going to be my grandchild. I will change my grandchild's diaper, and that is the last one I'm changing, bro.
Well, hopefully not at 45. Hopefully that's like
be way down the road, but it'll be my grandchild. Like I'm saying, at this age, never again, bro.
But by the way, not hopefully not. But I went the other way with it, where when I'm 45. My kids will be. Hold on. I'm trying to figure out how old they are. My kids will both be in their 20s when I'm 45.
That's crazy, dude.
When my son turns 18, I'll be 43. So he'll be 20. My daughter will be 22 or 22 or 23.
I will officially almost be 60 when I can have a beer with my kid if I get there. I mean, there's no guarantees. We talked about my Red Bull and my cigarettes. Age. Yeah, I can't. You know what I'm saying?
And you're not that much older than me. I mean,
I know. It's just getting started earlier. It was, but it's one of those great things that people say they have a plan, right?
Well, it's one of those things where it's I don't know when the right age is to have kids, right?
There's not one, dude.
No, there isn't. Because look, when my daughter started off school at a Catholic school, and we were like, me and my ex-wife were like the poor couple, in our early 20s.
Yeah.
Or I guess mid 20s at that point, with actually she started there at 3, and great school, although bad principal at the time. So not a good school when she went there, but it is a good school, good parents. But we would go to like the parents' night out things, and we'd be, 25 and 22 or 23, whatever she was. And, I literally one day I was talking to a guy, talking about doing this stuff. He's like, I'm so jealous. I'm 44 years old. My kid just is in EC3. And I'm like, when I'm 43, both my kids will be adults.
Dude, good on you. I mean, it's planned in that sort of way. But it's funny, again, the plan of life, right? For us, both of us had been like, We want to be established. We want to have everything together. And we were, right? Didn't make it any easier, dude. I don't care how much money you make or what you got. A kid will break you. A kid will break you to your core with every amount of dollar that you have going toward them. Because if you have more money, what you do is you buy a more expensive crib, right? If you have more money, you buy more expensive formula. It all works the same. You just somehow move the level up. Like there's no being prepared for what a kid brings you. And so, I mean,
my second kid had the wiper warmer.
Isn't that crazy?
It warmed the wipes.
Yeah, bro. I mean, I'm telling you, like, I never thought I would have this, but for real, with my son, we had like a Keurig for formula. So it was like a coffee Keurig, but I could just put the bottle under it, and you had the formula in the back, and you hit how many ounces you wanted, and it put that shit straight warm, straight mixed, and you just put a top on it. Say, here you go.
Damn.
Like, life is good. I thought I was gonna be heating stuff up on the oven like people used to. Like, because like breastfeeding didn't work with my wife well. It lasted maybe like a week and a half. My son's a picky eater.
Yeah, I don't think my daughter latched ever. My son, I think, was at least a few months, and then he started having to go to the hospital because he was having allergic reactions to breast milk.
That's hard, man. But like the allergic reaction thing, like that's tough. And like thankfully he's grown out of a bunch of those, man. I mean, I can't even I've been working from home for forever, and now I'm in an office. And there's an actual section of our office that just has signs that are like no peanuts. So when you like go into this section, somebody over there, they put the no peanut sign on everybody's cubicle so you can't see who's allergic to the peanuts. But I think I know who it is. Like, I'm just like, you can't have peanuts on a quarter of the building because somebody is allergic to peanuts.
My son was allergic to peanuts. And this is probably a local reference, but there's a restaurant called Cody's that would just give you a bag of peanuts and people would break them open, throw the shells on the floor. Like, he wasn't that allergic. He just couldn't eat them. He couldn't ingest it.
That's what I understand with peanuts.
He was actually not very allergic to peanuts. Dairy and shellfish now. But it's like, it's not like he's going to freak out if I eat shellfish right next to him.
Like, if I enjoy a payday bar next to someone who has a peanut allergy, like the peanut dust, like when did this get and I don't mean to be an asshole, I'm a guy who's never had allergy issues. Isn't that what they make EpiPens for? Like, if it got that bad, like, isn't there just like a shot and we're good? Like, when did peanut allergies just start killing people?
Well, we are going to have Robert F. Kennedy Jr. on the next podcast to explain this to Jeremiah.
I have no idea. I missed it. I was too busy watching the submarine. Jeff, I'm sorry. We're making this tight. Maybe 10 more minutes, but I got to ask you just because we're just ripped. What are your thoughts, dude, on this submarine?
I have no thoughts. I talked to Elizabeth Duffy, beautiful libertarian lady. I talked to her today, and we were talking about comedy, and I didn't realize like that became like a thing where people from the left are like making fun of the people who died because they were rich.
Oh,
like, and that's cool, but you can't make a joke about trannies or gay people or say the word retarded.
Like,
I just got us demonetized.
Look, I think I told you I found my new favorite thing on Sunday, which is just a free drinking day, is that I can go on and troll TikTok lives. And that's a lot of fun because the people who let people into their TikTok lives, they have a really strong belief in whatever they're talking about, even if it's really stupid. I mean, they'll let you in and you can just talk to them. But people were talking about this submarine thing and the government should have regulated this and they didn't test the ship and they didn't do that. And this company, and literally when I got on, I'm like, can we just stop and like, why? I mean, how about the 5 people who decided to get into a tiny tin can to go see the Titanic? Like, they understood there was a chance they weren't coming back, right? I mean, you could market safe all you wanted to. It could be government, FDA, and everybody else approved, and I'm not getting in it. Like, that's kind of on you as a human, right?
I would not get into a submarine called the Titan to go look at the Titanic.
And,
I'm like, I feel like there's something cosmically there. Like, this is a curse.
dude, here's where my outrage came from. And it hasn't been well received by most, but what the hell? Look, my outrage came from this. There were multiple countries who spent God knows how much money and time and effort trying to go find these 5, my opinion, no one else's, fucking idiots who got into a sub. Like, we spent billions of dollars and countries' time and resources to go search for 5 people who got into a tiny. Why? I mean, and that's all for PR, right? Because you have to know that everyone at the top of the government was like, those guys, let them go. But you can't, because if you do that, then you look bad. You look like you don't care about human life.
Oh, yeah.
It's not about human life.
The same governments that kill millions of people by bombing them.
Right, but they're like, we're going to find those 5 in the submarine. You're like, go get them. Like, no, just let it go. I don't need to find out what happened.
Same governments who didn't decide to let Jeffrey Epstein's client list actually prosecute them. I don't know.
And
hey, we're going off the rails. Wait,
I might be showing my age, but you know what, Jeff? The same government that didn't go look for the minnow. All right, Gilligan and his boys were on that island for years. What no,
and they had a millionaire, Thurston Howell.
Right. They had money. Nobody was looking for Gilligan. Or
you know what it was? It was all those fucking lefty TikTokers who were like, kill the rich, eat the rich.
Eat the rich.
Thurston and Lovey should die wherever they are.
I think there was an episode where the cannibals did try to eat the rich on that, which were the most nowadays most inappropriate cannibals you could ever have. Like, you could not put them on TV. They had the bone in their nose. White. Yeah. Like, no.
By the way, people, hit us up if you know where you can watch Gilligan's Island, because I really want to watch it with my kids. Same with Mr. Ed.
Yeah.
Dude,
Nick
a
at
horse
Night
is a horse, of course,
Bro.
but no one can talk to a horse, of course, unless the horse is famous, Mr. Ed.
This is my first I got old moment. I used to go to my buddy's house when Seinfeld and Friends were like on must-see TV, and you watch them. And then when that would go off, we would hang out and chill, and we would watch Nick at Night. And it had Dick Van Dyke, and it had Mary Tyler Moore, Mr. Ed, and all. It was great. We would watch this. And then years and years and years go by, and I'm scrolling through the channels one night, and I'm like, Nick at Night, word. And I turn on Nick at Night, and it's Friends. I was like, oh, shit, man. Like, I got
old. Did I just get old?
Right. I'm like, what the hell? How did now we're
by the way, neither one of us were alive while Gilligan's Island or Mr. Ed was actually broadcast.
Nope.
I watched it on TV Land as a kid. I loved both of those shows.
And for the record, the Dick Van Dyke Show may have been some of the greatest comedy ever written.
Mary Tyler Moore Show is hilarious.
Unbelievable. Mary Tyler Moore Show. What Ted? Everybody knows him from Caddyshack, as being the golfer on Caddyshack, but he was the greatest on the Mary Tyler Moore. What, Ted Baxter in the news? Ted Baxter. It's good stuff. So we've aged ourselves as we wrap up this. You know what?
That was before our time. By the way, Amazon Prime News Radio.
Oh, that was really good.
Like, that was before it was while I was alive. It was aired, but
it was Phil Hartman.
Like, Phil Hartman,
Genius.
Joe Rogan, but
young Joe Rogan.
How am I forgetting the dude who's been mentioned on
from
here?
Kids in the Hall? We talking about who's the Kids in the Hall?
Yeah. Why am I forgetting his name?
Yeah, I don't know either. I just know him as the guy from the Kids in the Hall, which, by the way, Kids in the Hall. If the dads
Dave
can start
Foley.
throwing out Dave Foley, if we can just throw out old recommendations, go watch Kids in the Hall.
Yeah. News radio, Mr. Ed. Hey, and please let us know if because I would love to force my children to watch Gilligan's Island and Mr. Ed.
I think they'd like it. I do.
I do too.
Maybe because now they're so, again, it goes back to what we were talking about with the YouTube videos and everything. It's just flashing at them and it's all loud noises and they don't understand subtlety at all. Like subtle humor has zero effect on my child.
But Mr. Ed is a talking horse.
You would think that they'd like that a lot, right? Of course. Well, Jeff, no one can talk to a horse, of course.
Unless the horse
is the famous
Mr. Ed. Hey, folks, we're here all week. Next week, we'll have audio, hopefully.
Maybe.
I don't know. God damn it.
If not, come discuss classic TV with us.
Yeah, or periods or cooking. Make taco spaghetti, folks.
Every plate is not for beginners. Don't get fooled.
By the way, pork tenderloin with gnocchi with a sauce I made. Chef's kiss.
I'm gonna get there, Jeff.
I'll help you.
I love it.
I'll help you. All right.
Dad's Green Show.
We're being played out.
Dad's Green Show. Dad's Green Show.